Hello and welcome back to the Heroes Hype Amateur Series. It's game 2 between the Pleyz and Plato some Tangos, which I have just learned, Anna, thanks to Frojo, that it is from Heroes of New Earth. You are muted.
I almost went through a whole broadcast without talking to nobody. But yes, very interesting. Heroes of New Earth reference. I am thankful to Frojo for clearing that up because it would have kept me up all night.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. But now I've got Pika Pika running through my brain, and we have the Pleyz and Plato, so lots of P's, so you better have a good pop guard on your mic, or things are going to sound really awful.
Really sad. I do not, but I hope that it hasn't been too horrible. We are moving into the draft. Plato is up 1 game, so if the Pleyz can't win it here on... I don't actually know what the map is going to be. Cursed Hollow. If they can't win it here on Cursed Hollow, Plato some Tangos, is it some Tangos? Will be walking away with a victory. I already forgot. PPSD.
Yeah. Plato.
Yes.
I like to think of the philosopher in like a swimming pool, like a backyard swimming pool specifically. Isn't he a philosopher, Plato? I don't know.
Yes.
Anyways, let's get into the draft because we're already quite a ways into it. The first bans were not surprising, Gilly. We see Illidan and Lost Vikings being banned.
Yeah, Lost Vikings, story of the night, that ban. But PP, even though they won that, they're still respecting the Pleyz and their Illidan plays and banning that out. The Pleyz did pick up Jaina first, and then Plato has chosen to go with Uther and Sylvanas.
Yeah, Uther kind of being a star of this week's play. I mean, the stun ability as well as the heal ability is kind of the thing. It's hot, it's hip these days. Being able to stun as well as keep a team alive and look dashing and tanky in your glowy armor is pretty nice. Sylvanas, of course, lots of utility. Cursed Hollow, you always mention she kind of is a mini curse herself, so certainly very useful here, as on other maps. But the play is going to respond with Muradin Vala. So Muradin showing himself to be a favored tank this week as well. Vala and Jaina together are going to do a lot of damage. So really interesting that Plato is not as concerned with picking up their damage even after banning Illidan. So maybe they're saying, as long as you don't have Illidan, that's fine. We've got something else up our sleeve.
I would love to see a Tyrande. I love Starfall in the fights on this map, but I also love Falstad. And because of the Hinterland Blast and the corridors that you can end up fighting in. And I think that both of those, we've seen Falstad quite a bit this week, so I'm really hoping that we will continue to have them, especially on this map.
We see ETC coming out for Plato. On Cursed Hollow, mobility is also important, especially because of tributes. Tribute spawning can happen in any place. There's a lot of randomness to them, and so ETC can be somewhere else on the map, not worrying about where a tribute's going to spawn, and be able to stage dive in. So I would assume we're going to see a stage dive here, a great use of ETC. We've got the stun from Uther, and Falstad is going to add to the damage array to take advantage of those things.
Yes, my friend Falstad. I cannot wait. There's like this one corridor I'm specifically thinking of where the tribute spawns. It's the one with the rock outcropping around it. And then the corridor goes up toward next to the losers. And that is such a great place to drop a Hinterland Blast and drop a few heroes off of their team. So I'm ready to see them make that work. PP... I keep calling him PP. That's not great. Plato has the potential here. They could pick up a Tyrande. Starfall is so good at zoning around those tributes, but then they also could go for possibly another tank, maybe another heals, or even another damage, which I think is what we've been seeing most often here. Whereas the Pleyz still have their 2 picks left, one of which will be a support.
Yeah, and it's interesting to try to think which support. We've historically seen a lot of Rhaegar, and the ancestral healing came into play quite a bit last game, so I would not be surprised to see a Rhaegar come in. We've also seen tons of Brightwing, and Brightwing with that global map presence to kind of match up with ETC and Falstad would be a really smart play, so I feel like that's who we're going to see. What do you think, Gilly?
I would love that. The polymorph is so fun, and there it is. She's so cute. And there's the
Ooh.
Tyrande. So I'm really pumped. Now we've got some Starfall. Tyrande's Hunter's Mark with Jaina and Vala. That's all the damage you need, man. That's great. And Brightwing, of course, can... I wouldn't be surprised to see an Emerald Wind here because of the zoning that it can do, again, in tight corridors. Every time you have to think about a team fight on this map, you have to think about the fact that you're going to be getting into fights in weird spaces. There's like places where you'll be in a fight all the way around a tree, or like in a U area, or in a very sharp corridor, or in this like open space that's like weirdly surrounded by rocks. There's like so many weird spots where you can get in fights, and an Emerald Wind could help with the disengage if you get into an area that's unfavorable, or also help to push someone into your team where they can easily stun them for Muradin or Tyrande, or just take them out. But that does give you a little bit less healing in terms of blink heal. So we'll have to see which one this Brightwing player chooses to go with.
Yeah, we have one spot left on Pool Plato. They have Sylvanas and Falstad for their damage. I feel like they need more, looking at Jaina and Vala with Tyrande. Do you agree?
I do, but I also could maybe see a Tassadar here for the vision. He could shield as well, just helping with the sustainability a little bit more. And then he would even give some damage with regard to picking up Archon or his Psionic Storms. And I mean, this would be a great place to get some Force Walls down too. We haven't seen very many of those lately, but PPP is going to agree with you. They're going to pick up the Nova, and that is going to be really cool to see if she can sneak around back behind the back line and take out Tyrande, Jaina, or Vala.
I really like that pick. I was into what you were saying about the Force Wall. That could be really, really fun. I love Force Wall on Cursed Hollow, but I'm into the Nova pick because what it says is like, okay, you've got these like really killer ladies of death that everybody's really afraid of, but you won't know where our Lady of Death is lurking, and she might just come shoot you in the back of the head. So I like the element of mystery that this adds to the game, and I think it adds a little bit more fear to the confidence of the plays. So this is going to be a really fun matchup again, but this time maybe a little bit different strategies from these teams, where last game we saw them kind of doing a lot of the same thing and just kind of a match of wits with the same strategy. This is probably going to be some distinct different strategies, I would say.
Yeah, I think they're saying, you've got a lot of damage, but play safe because you never know where we're lurking. And also, we talked about zoning and dealing damage in an area around those tributes, causing trouble for your opponents. And Precision Strike definitely does that from Nova.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited to see that take place. Am I not in the game that I should be, Gilly?
Are you not in here? Oh, wait.
I want in that game.
I gave you an invite, but it must not have gone through.
No worries. Guys, in the chat, we always love to remind you as well to take a moment to follow HeroesHype. HeroesHype is not just this amateur series, it's also a place to get your news about Heroes of the Storm. They have a great newsletter that goes out every week that can tell you what's going on in the esports scene, what's new for Heroes. There's articles that'll help you learn. Gilly and I put together a video that kind of is a short, condensed, bite-sized version of that newsletter. Lots of really cool stuff to find there, so be sure to check out HeroesHype and give them a follow. Give them lots of love for putting all of this together for us. It really is a passion project and a work of love, and we think it's great what they're doing. Allowing us to cast is awesome too, so please do give them all the things.
I agree. I love HeroesHype. They're so awesome. And did you talk about HeroesHype on air?
Yeah, a little. I mentioned it, but you can tell a little bit more about it.
Yeah, it's just this great video show that we've been making together every week with HeroesHype, and it gives updates on what's happening in the esports scene as well as the community, and then even some Blizzard news as well. I really enjoy making it because there are so many tournaments and it's hard to keep track of who's winning what. And so by making it, it really helps me be able to keep up with which teams are winning what, and so I feel like I'm still in the know even on weeks when I can't watch as much.
Absolutely. I think that bite-sized content is always good in our busy lives, and HeroesHype has so much great content that I love having the option of digesting it in whatever way is palatable that week. So always major props to them, and to you, Gilly, for editing on air every week.
Thanks. It's a lot of fun. I've gotten a lot faster at it as well. But here we go, guys. This could be it. We are on the Cursed Hollow. Pool Plato is up 1 game versus the 0 games of the Pleyz. Can the Pleyz bring it back, win this game, and take us to game number 3? Or will Pool Plato be the champions of Week 13?
We saw the Pleyz take out Goon Squad, which is a name that we've seen quite a bit here in the HeroesHype Amateur Series. So I was coming into this thinking, okay, these kids are hot, these kids are fly. But Pool Plato is certainly giving them a run for their money, looking very dominant last game. A lot of back and forth, but I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with the amount of mobility and stealthiness, as well as pushing power that they have on their team against the Pleyz massive damage.
I really like that you keep saying things like it's hot, it's hip, it's fly. I'm waiting for it's rad.
Ooh, that's a good one.
We'll have to see what else Anna says, but the teams did switch sides on you, just so you're aware. Here in the blue is Pool Plato with Lyricals playing that Nova, Radlack on Uther, Apollo playing Falstad, Charm on ETC, and playing Sylvanas is King Plato himself.
All right, and for Pleyz, Pirate Rum will be on Jaina, Evan Drinde will play Vala, Yell Cow will be on Muradin, Lex Uther will play Brightwing, and Zeus will be on Tyrande.
Got that little monkey heading to the vision. Let's pull up the talents here, and right away I see Ambush Snipe from Nova, so looking to increase damage when you are in the cloaked or recently uncloaked. So really going to be moving around, dealing a lot of damage. I think we'll see Nova constantly going around looking for a gank here at the beginning.
I love that. I think this is going to be really fun, and I like it as a response to what the Pleyz drafted. I think it was a really smart response. We'll see if it works, though, and we'll see how the teams evolve over the course of the game, because they're certainly going to have different strengths here in the early game as they will in the late game.
Agreed. Brightwing did not choose to pick up Bribe this time, going for the scouting drone. Of course, having vision here is really, really nice, because not only do you have a Nova, but this map is Gank City. And Evan already taking a lot of damage from Apollo and King Plato, who have some damage on themselves as well. But here comes Zeus and Yell Cow trying to take out King Plato, who will be stunned, but underneath the turrets, that's always risky to go in. You may not pick up that gank, and instead might get killed yourself.
They already did quite a bit of damage. They, being Pool Plato, did quite a bit of damage to this top tower and wall here for so early in the game. They will have to answer for it, though, as Sylvanas will go down. Evan Drinde, Yelkow, and Zeus saying, stop it. Just sit down and stop it. And now they have an experience lead, despite that damage that was done to structures early on.
Pirate Rum getting very, very low, but it will be Nova who goes down first, and then followed by Charm on ETC. So Pirate Rum getting surviving just barely. Lex Uther looked like it was going to teleport in, but decided not to. Knew that teammates were right there and didn't want to give up any experience lead that they've gotten, which they have picked up their level 4 talents now. So they're eking their way toward having the major talents first. Yeah.
Pool Plato having to kind of come back and reevaluate their strategy. Now a lot of domination from the Pleyz. They are in great position to take this first tribute as it's spawning here up in the top. King Plato and Apollo here to contest, but Apollo very low from trying to press against them here in the top lane. It looks like we won't have an answer from the bottom lane as Lex Uther gets pretty low. Charm, Lyricals, and Radlack being down there, but it looks like at least Lyricals is heading up there soon. Charm mounting up, but will stay in the bottom lane.
Lex Uther got really low, which meant that 3 heroes were here trying to take him out, which meant that they were not up there trying to take the tribute, and so that will definitely go to the Pleyz, and in the favor of the Pleyz even more, because that gank wasn't picked up. Lex Uther had a really clutch polymorph on Charm that allowed him to be able to get back into the safety of the gate. Look at this, 2 gathering powers, 1 for Nova, 1 for Falstad. So if they're able to keep up those stacks, pick them up, not die, that's going to be really terrifying for the Pleyz.
Absolutely. They did get a lot of damage done on that top lane, so things are looking a little bit evened up in terms of structural damage, although we see about 1 level difference in experience. So things are starting to widen. The Pleyz really have an advantage there, and they have 3 kills to 0. Gilly, what do you think that Pool Plato is going to have to do to get their footing back?
Just try to get experience, maybe try to give up the next Tribute if they can to just catch back up in experience. They're a level behind, but at the same time that's difficult because that would mean that they would have to get the next one as the Pleyz would be up to. Now they're coming in trying to get a gank. They've got Zeus very low and will do so. That will also be very helpful. They created a situation where they had more heroes and took advantage of that, and now they're going to be able to head to this Tribute uninhibited and soon pick up their level 7 talents. So with a great pickup, they're able to get back on the board.
That stun really, really helped them out. So I think you're right. Being together is the strength of Plato. And so as they move into the later game where it's less important for them to have people in each lane, that's going to be their strength. So the Pleyz are going to have to watch out for that.
Loudspeakers for ETC, increasing the face melt range and knockback by 50%. So really hoping to get ganks here, but it's Radlac who's getting ganked as a great stun from Yelkow is going to allow the rest of his team to pick him up. King Plato also taking a bunch of damage, but is getting healed up by that Uther Ghost. We still have a level advantage for the Pleyz, but now it's not so dire for Plato because they could give up the next Tribute if they needed to. They're not going to need to. The Pleyz are still well away from their level 10 abilities, but had they needed to, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal.
I think we're going to see an interesting skirmish here around this Tribute, although we do have 4 members of, they've changed colors on us. Who is that? The Pleyz. We have 4 members of the Pleyz against 5 members of Plato. They are going to engage around this Tribute, and it looks like Plato has the advantage. No, that was only 4 members. I got tripped by a hologram.
As we all do. A great scouting drone there from Lex Uther, but does get taken out from Charm, so they're not going to have quite as good of an advantage. Zeus once again was trying to pick it up and does get stopped by Uther, but Uther paid for it dearly with his life as he was stunned and then instantly taken out. Now it's a 5v4 situation, and Yelkow is going after King Plato, who is going to Banshee right over that wall. Now it's Charm who is stunned, but a great face melt puts Jaina right in the clutches of his team, and just like that, she's taken out as well, but ETC's down. Now it's Sylvanas, and this fight is catapulting toward the Pleyz favor as they're going to go back, pick up this Tribute, and a great disengage from Plato, knowing that the opponents were about to hit level 10.
I think what we're seeing here is that, like we mentioned, we have the standard strong damage dealers with the standard strong supports underneath them in terms of the Pleyz. And so what Plato really needs to do is have some strategies that are unexpected. We have this Nova pick, which could be doing all sorts of crazy random things, being places where she's not expected, but I feel like that's not happening yet. So that's what I would like to see from Plato, is a little bit more creativity, because I think that this composition that they've picked lends itself well to that, as opposed to the kind of let's run at each other like sumo wrestlers and see who comes out alive.
Uh-oh, King Plato getting way slowed by Jaina, and then the Water Elemental to boot. Pyra and Evan were able to secure that kill. They had Water Elemental, Strafe, Avatar, Blink Heal, and there's that Starfall. And they might be heading for their boss. Nope, Bruisers.
Yeah, I see a lot of coordination coming out of the Pleyz. They've really regrouped from this last game, so really looking good for them. I would like to see that kind of communication and coordination from their opponents as well. Maybe we will around the Tribute, as we see Apollo there ready and waiting to be in the right position. However, the rest of the Pleyz are running up, and Brightwing will come up as well, so we have 4 members there all of a sudden.
Yeah, Tyrande isn't here, and neither is ETC, but ETC can always stage dive in, and we should see that at any second here. Here we go, going after Lex Uther, at least initially, but Yelkow wants Radlac here. There comes the ETC in a perfect positioning, and we're seeing the Pleyz being a little bit disorganized in who to attack. Starfall is going to help them zone, help them regroup, and figure out who to focus down, as Radlac is still pretty low. Brightwing doing a great job of blink healing and keeping everyone alive, and in the midst of all that, the Pleyz were able to pick up the Tribute and the Curse, a great stun. Lunar Flare will take out the ETC, and now with that, with the Curse and Plato losing their tank, they're going to disengage here. They need everyone up they possibly can to defend, but unfortunately they're going to lose Falstad on top of that too.
Yeah, this is dire straits here for Plato, and I really loved seeing Muradin taking a page out of the last game. Yelkow following Charm's example, being kind of out of the way, making people focus in 2 totally different directions, really won that team fight. So really awesome work from the Pleyz, and they will now fall down and try to use the remainder of this curse to take out the mid lane as well. King Plato is also very low, so they're looking to hopefully get another kill here. Will they be able to get it, Gilly?
Well, a strafe is going to help them take him out, and now Charm is low too, and with a great polymorph, once again they take out the ETC. An important note about that last fight too is if you look at the heroics that were used, all of the heroics were used on the side of the Pleyz, but neither Hinterland Blast nor Precision Strike, the two big damage dealing heroics, were used in those fights, whether they just didn't get a really good chance to use them, whether they were just being amazingly zoned by that Yell Cow. But now they're in a really big level disadvantage. They lost actually all 3 forts in that, as Winions took the bottom one, and now they're going to lose their boss too unless they try to defend it, but they don't have their level 13 talents.
Yeah, Radlack jumping in and face checking there. I don't know if that was the right decision because, like you said, we do have a talent tier up on the side of Pleyz. Looks like Plato jumping right in. We will get the Hinterland Blast this time, but things are not looking good as Nova is dead.
As is Uther, and we did have the Precision Strike and the Hinterland Blast, but it just didn't deal the damage that they needed there, and the Brightwing was able to just hit her Gust of Healing, release so much healing there, and just heal through all of that damage, and from there they've kept everyone up and were able to take out some more turrets. So now they're a level away from 16, and Plato hasn't yet to get their 13 talents.
Plato is in a really tough situation here because they keep getting in these engagements where they really need to all be together and have some synergy, but they also really need to be soaking experience because they're so far behind, and they also need to be defending their lanes because their opponents, the Pleyz, have done such a good job of taking advantage of the map objectives and keeping pressure in all of their lanes. So they've been put in a position that no team wants to be in, where they only have bad choices and they just have to pick the best of bad choices. So right now they finally managed to get level 13, and what they're going to be looking for here is to take advantage of this brief moment where they have equal talent tiers with their opponents. I would guess that they're going to be looking for an engagement, but it better be a good one.
Right, indeed, because if they lose 1 or 2 people, they're going to basically give the Pleyz those level 16 talents, and they know it. They are rushing away. They do not want to set up the wrong engagement. And 2, there is a boss pushing down on them as well, so that could spell disaster if they were to get killed right as a boss was pushing in. They would definitely lose a keep there, whereas they might be able to stop this boss from the keep, but the Pleyz are level 16 now, and here comes everyone from Plato. Jaina instantly goes down and invulnerable on ETC, but he's also shrink raid, and oh no, a root from the Giant actually puts Falstad right in range of a good dwarf toss from an Avatar Muradin, and so he will go down as well. Now this keep will definitely go down, and that's going to mean Catapult pushing on this top lane into Plato's base.
Yeah, actually getting a little bit low. The Pleyz really did want that fort. That's what they were there for. They lost 2 members, but still have 3 up, and Charm as well as Lyricals are both out of position, running away for their lives, but probably not going to make it, unfortunately. They will go down. That's 3 people down for Plato.
An increased face mount kept him alive for a little bit longer, but now we've got a tribute up. This is okay for Plato. They're fine with not having this tribute because they've still got 2 before they really need to start worrying, as the Pleyz just had that curse. They are focusing on getting experience wherever possible. Sylvanas is down here taking out turrets even, just trying to even up the talent tiers.
Yeah, it looks like Brightwing and Muradin will be going for these bruisers up top, trying to keep lots and lots of pressure because they have room to do that. The Owl will find out that Radlack has just taken the bruisers as well for Plato. And it looks like Siege Giants haven't been taken yet, but I'm guessing that they will for the Pleyz. Level 16 is in the grasp of Plato, but it may be that the Pleyz want to get an engagement before that happens. We've seen them force an engagement before when they know it's favorable for them, and they may be doing it again.
Well, Brightwing took that Criterize, so look for them trying to deal damage to whoever is Polymorph. Pirate Rum getting very low, but it will be Falstad who goes down there. That Water Elemental dealing a ton of damage. Also, I wanted to note that Tyrande picked up Ranger here, increasing the width of Sentinel, and then also dealing more damage. That's so annoying when you are trying to take a tribute and you keep getting owls in your faces. So even more damage there from the Tyrande. The Owl pickups are really, really good on this map. And now because Falstad is still down for 15 seconds, the Pleyz is moving in toward the second keep.
Yeah, Lyrical's hiding back here in the bushes. Could make something really interesting happen, but waiting, I guess, for the opportune moment. And will not find it. Oh, gonna engage on Yelkow, but Yelkow's gonna be able to Dwarf Toss out. A stage dive from Charm. Looks like it was trying to get an engagement back on. Will we get damage enough on Yelkow? No, that tank is going to be able to walk right away. And yet again, we have an engagement that is not looking good for Plato.
Man, Apollo flew in and then instantly regretted every life decision there because it took so much damage to the face from Jaina. And now they've lost Uther, they've lost their healer. A great stun is going to mean that they'll also lose King Plato here as Sylvanas goes down. Apollo is so low, he's got to heal up before he can even deal anything. I think that we're maybe going to see... No, we're going to see the Pleyz just back off. They'd rather play the safe game. They know Nova's still up and Nova's trying to go after Pirate Run there, but not going to do so. They do have the opportunity of going after this boss, and I think that's probably where they will go and just pick up this tribute as well.
There's a little bit of danger, but certainly not much. We still have 5 seconds and 18 seconds left for Uther and Sylvanas, respectively. Lyrical's keeping an eye on the action, but not going to be able to do much by her little stealthy self. She's waiting to maybe run in and steal the boss if she can. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen. I think maybe she just got concerned that someone would spot her and they would take her out, so she was being
very still.
Very still. Level 16 talents we've had for a bit now for Plato, but unfortunately for them, the Pleyz is already almost to level 20, going there very, very quickly as all of these lanes are super pushed for them, and they're just going to go back off, heal up, pick up their giants, and continue the siege.
Yeah, and that's a great call. We see that Plato is desperately trying to defend this boss. The only other thing that they have on their side of the map is their siege giants, but siege giants aren't going to do much good if you've got a boss pushing on you. I think they'll go up and look for that now because they definitely need to be defensive now. There's not a whole lot they can do because level 20 is going to happen very, very soon for their opponents, and they are certainly not going to want to engage into level 20 until they reach that same talent tier.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we will once again see the Pleyz forcing that engagement. They've picked up this top golem, and there's no fort here on top, and a tribute is spawning. So we're going to see them pick up this tribute and then push with their boss. They're going to push straight in. Their opponents are not going to have level 20. They're already prepping to push in as they just have Brightwing there picking up the tribute, and Brightwing can do that. Brightwing can phase shift right in. There is the owl that's showing them exactly what's going on, and Plato have got to be nervous here.
Yeah, a curse with a boss, with a 5-team at 20 push. I mean, I don't know that there's a lot they can do to stave off the inevitable here. We can only hope for a miraculous defense.
The Pleyz did a great job of backing off once they were all silenced from Sylvanas' Wailing Arrow, but that is going to be a huge Pendulum Blast that will take out Vala. Brightwing is down as well. Pirate Run losing a lot of health will go down as well. There goes Tyrande. Defending for their life is Plato. They've even taken out Yelkow, but this boss is dealing so much damage to the core. Shouldn't be enough to take it out, but it will be enough to cause serious problems as they have 2 lanes with plenty of Cadbolts pushing.
Wow. I called for a miraculous defense, and there it was. I did not expect that. Maybe the Pleyz did not expect that either, because we see that now their opponent's Plato is about to hit 20. So if they ever had a chance for a comeback, that chance is now. We still have over 20 seconds on all kill timers for their opponents, the Pleyz. So as long as they can survive this curse and defend their core... Ooh, Radlock getting really low trying to do just that. There's siege giants on the core now. Can they defend those mercenaries?
They're trying so hard as their team is pushing up, just trying to get 1 fort. They don't have a single fort down, but Winions are a huge problem here. Radlock had to protective shield himself just to stay alive here. And they're going to just have to push back these lanes constantly until they get a little bit of breathing room. They need mercs. They need minions that are fighting for them. Most of all, they need shields on their core because this is a huge problem. As even though they won that team fight, they're gonna have to win every team fight from here on out. But I say that, and if you recall, I've said this before in the HeroesHype Amateur Series, and we've seen a team do just that, come back from taking out no forts and having all their keeps gone to winning, and that was Wild Growth. But can Plato do it as well?
If they do, they will join the legendary ranks of Wild Growth, who is a regular here at the HeroesHype Amateur Series. The odds are certainly stacked against them, Gilly. Like you said, I mean, 6 forts remaining for the Pleyz, 0 forts remaining for Pool Plato. That is certainly not a stat you ever want to hear, but I mean, they had the game lost to Rights and then came back from that. So who knows? Anything is possible here in the HeroesHype Amateur Series. But King Plato, ooh, getting away with a Banshee. Yellcow jumping in to try to engage yet again, but the stage dive from ETC is happening with the... Oh my gosh, Gilly, it's happening again.
Taranda's down! Charm is on the chase. They're now after Yellcow. King Plato somehow miraculously survived that. And they've at least staved off the attack, but they're pinging away on these Winions. And soon they're also going to have to step out of their base enough to pick up a tribute as it's going to spawn.
Yeah, do you think we'll see Pool Plato extending enough to get this tribute? They are heading that direction, and it looks like the Pleyz are content to stay down here and get this mercenary. They don't need a tribute per se. So I don't know if they're going to just let it happen. I guess they are, because it looks like this tribute will indeed be picked up by Charm. That will be 2 tributes out of 3 on the side of Pool Plato. So if another tribute spawns before this game is over, the Pleyz are really going to have to worry about making sure that doesn't go to them.
Pool Plato could get the curse of their life. Like, say there was a curse, they could push straight through, take out a fort, take out a keep. I think actually they want to get a curse or a fort now, so they don't have to worry about that later. But that is a great strafe from Evan, who is also taking a lot of damage though, and Yellcow is going to have to jump away. So this fort should not go. Yes, Pool Plato's got to get out of there. King Plato took a huge owl to the face, followed by a bunch of damage from Pirate Rum. And now we're seeing the Pleyz on the chase. They've stunned Radlack. He's going to go down. This is going to be an issue. They can't lose anybody else if they have any hopes of defending. And they're going to have a miracle here.
Yeah, I don't know. Charm is going back looking for a fight. They know that they really have to win this fight, because if they lose and they are weakened, the Pleyz can just head right for their core. So they have to be alive to defend all the other things that are coming toward their core, like these siege giants, like the catapults all over the place. They really cannot lose team fights.
Well, this is... to add insult to injury, the Pleyz are now at their own golem, who is going to have to walk a long way, it's true, but will again have a straight shot to the core. And this core, there's no mule. This core's at 16%. It's got a huge shield, but that shield burns down really fast when the players are at this level. There is the ETC stage diving, was not soon enough to pick up the giant, but they still might be able to pick up some kills here. They don't have Nova quite yet. She's just now walking in, and King Plato and Charm are very, very low. There, Lyricals, though, takes out Jaina instantly. Sylvanas is also dead, though. And now only Nova and Falstad remain. That will be it. They're dropping the GGs already, and it looks like we will be moving on to the Game 3. Yeah,
so sad that they looked... They went looking for the fight under the boss, which is understandable. They thought maybe the Pleyz were going to be low health and that they could get the picks they needed to continue momentum in their favor. They had the tribute to Rights down here in the bottom. They could have gotten that curse, like you mentioned. The boss certainly would not have been something to sneer at. Like, they really did not want the boss pushing against their core. But it would have been interesting to see how that might have changed the outcome of this game if they had not rushed into that engagement under the boss.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was still such a climb to come back from. Oh, I'm just noticing 3 rewinds. That's pretty funny. But it was just such a climb to come back from that. If at any point you lose people like they did, they lost. Was it Uther lost pretty early on in that fight? They lost somebody pretty early on in that fight. And from there, it's just so difficult. Yeah, because they didn't have their heals. And that's going to be it for Game 2. The Pleyz have come back, so we'll get a Game 3 once again, 2 weeks in a row. We get 2 3-game best-of-3 series. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, really cool to see these teams match up with different strategies, different makeups. I'm excited to see what they're going to do next time. I think we may see some more respect bans coming out. That's my theory. But I'm really excited to get into Game 3, so I'm ready to do it if you are, Gilly.
I am too. We'll take a short break, let these teams grab the map, and then we'll be right back, guys. Raise your Pikas. We're on to Game 3. We'll see you soon.
You remote?